Well, unfortunately, I'm sick. I am battling a cold. I actually sound way worse than I feel. I actually don't feel that bad. But every time I get a cold, and let me know if this happens to you too, I lose my voice. Like my voice just completely disappears for like 3 days. It's like, I don't know if it's laryngitis or whatever you want to call it, but it just disappears. And I try everything. You know, I try tea, I try honey, I try all those herbal remedies and at-home things, and it doesn't come back. So I apologize for sounding this way. I was at the World Championships in Anaheim last weekend. I was also visiting these two for a few days before the World Championships. So I don't know if it's Minnie's fault or Mickey's fault or Pokemon's fault, or my kids. They went back to school on Tuesday. They bring home all those germs. It's somebody's fault. I'm going to find out. It's somebody's fault. But we're just going to power through because this is an important video.
So the next main series set that releases is Mega Evolutions, right? It comes out on September 26th. I got some big plans for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I want to talk about Mega Evolutions because there's a lot of information going on out there, and I think it just needs to be explained better. It's just very, very interesting stuff that's going on. That's also going to be the next master set giveaway. So every single set, we give away a master set to one subscriber. So make sure you are subscribed. I got big plans. I was going through my content strategy. I don't know who I am anymore. Going through a content strategy for the next couple of years, and kind of putting out there, my big, audacious, hairy goals, trying to figure out where I want to be. I want to do some really, really big stuff. So make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Share the channel. I appreciate all the support. Obviously, only do those things if you appreciate the content. I want to make sure that I put out good content. If you don't appreciate the content, if you don't think it's that good, then you shouldn't subscribe. I think that's totally fair. But I do want to talk about Mega Evolutions because we're 5 weeks away. 5 weeks away from the release of Mega Evolutions. And there's 3 big things, 3 big question marks, or things that I really want to talk about regarding Mega Evolutions. Pre-releases actually start in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. 3 weeks in pre-release. If you've never been to a pre-release, go to Pokemon.com, look at where pre-releases might be in your area. I highly recommend. You're going to love it. It's the best way that you can get kind of a sneak peek of the set. You pay, it's supposed to be $25. You pay $25. You get a build and battle kit to make your pre-release deck. Comes with 4 packs inside, and then usually you get 2 additional packs for competing in the pre-release. Even if you say, hey Fanny, I don't know how to play the game, it doesn't matter. It's not even a real format anyways. It's only 40 cards. They give you the deck that you can use. If you don't want to use any other cards that you open, then don't. You can just use the 40 cards that are in your deck. You just learn as you go. It's a lot of fun. You meet other people from the community, maybe people in your area that can help keep you updated on restocks and things like that. It's just a lot of fun. And it's an outlet to learning how to play the competitive game. And then hopefully I can see you in San Francisco next year for Pokemon XP for the World Championships. It's going to be an absolute blast. I really hope to see you there. But we got to talk about Mega Evolutions. So this video is basically broken up into 3 different sections. The first 2 sections, probably the most important for information for you guys, and the third one is the one that I find the most interesting. The first one that I want to talk about is allocations and the whole idea of waived releases. So I think it's really important. Personally, I think it's awesome. I think it's amazing. Allocations, usually I'll have an Excel sheet or a PowerPoint presentation that I show you, okay, well, how does this compare to previous sets? But I don't need to do that this time because I can just give you a blanket answer. It's amazing. My allocations for this set, and I do need to preface this. What we're going to talk about in this video is strictly for North America, or United States, I should say. I don't even know about Canada allocations. I have no idea. And definitely not EU. I know nothing about any of that. I only know stuff about the United States specifically. And these are only, it's only information from, I have 3 distributors that I work with. So it's only information from those 3. There's a dozen different distributors located throughout the United States. So they could have different information, or they could run practices different than what my 3 distributors do. So I just want to talk, this is specifically about my store and how things are looking at me. I've been working really, really hard, late nights, trying to figure out, wrapping my brain around how I can do better, how I can be better, and help out you guys to get more product at MSRP. I have no problem selling product at MSRP. It's just difficult right now, right? It's very difficult. Number one, wholesale cost. costs are going up. So wholesale costs going up. We talked about this with Destined Rivals, but there's still enough margin there. There's still plenty of margin there in order to sell at MSRP. But after that initial first print run goes out there, restocks are more expensive. And we had an interview with distribution. We talked to distribution about what their restocks look like. They get charged more from Pokemon. We get charged more from distribution. And then it's a trickle-down effect, which really isn't fair. But as long as we can buy product at wholesale, we'll be able to sell it at MSRP or even under MSRP. And I do think that that's fair. So I've been spending a lot of time talking to my distributors over the past few months, working through different things about how we can up our allocation numbers, what we can do as far as spend goes, because you don't want to just throw money at other card games that you don't really do a whole lot with. Like, I've been offered a lot of boxes of Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been offered a lot of boxes of Elestrals. I've been offered a lot of boxes of different sets, but that's not what our audience is. That's not what our base is. So it's hard to take all that in to increase spend, because then where are you going to move it? You're just going to end up sitting on it and you're going to end up losing money on it. So trying to figure out different ways that we can increase our spend and utilize that to be able to get higher allocation numbers. That's really been like all the hours that I've spent on the phone or sending emails or doing due diligence and talking, reaching out to owners, like trying to figure out whatever I can, because the ultimate goal is to get as many booster boxes as I can to be able to fill, you know, as many orders as possible at or below MSRP. Like that's always been the main goal, right? When it comes to allocations for Mega Evolutions, we are getting more of everything than we have ever gotten before, outside of, I think Darkness Ablaze was the one set where we got just an absolute buku amount of booster boxes, but that was when you didn't have allocations. It was just, you could order however much you want, whenever you wanted, and they would be able to fulfill the order because the demand wasn't there. So this is the most allocation that we've had for a new set in a very, very long time, and it's across the board. We're not just talking about booster boxes, we're talking about Elite Trainer boxes, we're talking about booster bundles, we're talking about sleeve boosters, check lane blisters, we're talking about 3-pack blisters, we're talking about build and battles, we're talking about the whole kit and caboodle of releases when it comes to a new set. So that is amazing. The only difference is that it's waived. And basically what that means is it's going to be broken up into 2 different release dates. Now, we have had this happen before multiple times. This is actually what Pokemon did to kind of fix the pandemic problems that we were having with stock issues. When we were going through the pandemic and we had releases like Evolving Skies, Chilling Reign, Celebrations, those sets were all waived because Pokemon couldn't print enough to meet with demand. So they haven't done this really since then, really since the release of Fusion Strike. I think Fusion Strike was the last set that actually got released in waves. So we're going to have one wave that comes out September 26th, and then there's going to be a second wave that comes out October 22nd, somewhere around there. Like it could come a little bit early, it could come a little bit late, but basically about a month after release. You might say, okay, well, Fanny, why is that a big deal? It's a big deal because it gives more opportunity. And we're going to talk about this in another video in the near future, and I'm never going to tell you how much to spend on a booster box or what's a good deal. Like, yeah, booster boxes are going to continue to appreciate. If you buy a Destined Rivals booster box at $250 and it's $300 now, obviously it was a good buy at $250. I personally just think you should spend MSRP. I'm not saying anything's going to go back to MSRP. I'm just saying the more opportunities to get product at MSRP is a good thing, and that's only going to happen if Pokemon does do these waived releases like that, because what it does is it prevents those wholesale costs from climbing across the board. So if Pokemon is waiving releases to distribution, that gives them the opportunity to put out more product at the same price point to distribution, rather than printing out one wave and then giving a restock or a reprint and then charging a higher amount on top of that. So basically what they're saying is, we're going to give you more product, but it's going to come in 2 different waves. We're going to send it in September, and then we're going to send more of it in October, and this is the wholesale cost for it. So then distribution, it's a trickle effect, can send that down to the LGS stores that they work with, to the local game stores that they work with, and they can say, okay, well, here's your price. You get your wholesale price. You may not get as many booster boxes up front, but you will get more booster boxes over the course of a month. So really important when you're going into pre-ordering and things like that. You want to make sure that you understand what wave you are part of, because there's going to be a lot of stores that sell product that's just going to put it up, and you want to know, okay, well, is this going to be in the first wave or is this going to be in the second wave? Am I getting this on release weekend, or am I getting it a month after? Honestly, if it's going to be MSRP, I think who cares? But you should know. You should know. Obviously, prices are going to change and things like that as the set has been out for a while. They're also not just waiving booster boxes, they're waiving everything. So we're talking about sleeve boosters, check lanes, 3-pack blisters, all of it, booster bundles. Like Like it's all being waived. So there's going to be a set release on September 26th, and then a month later, all the rest of them are going to come out as well. This gives the opportunity for a lot more product coming out over the course of a month. And why that's important is because it should stabilize prices a little bit. We saw this with Crown Zenith. We've seen this with other sets where it does stabilize price a little bit rather than like Destined Rivals, for example. Destined Rivals is a great example because we had the first wave and then we had a restock. Well, the problem with the restock was it came about a month or a month and a half after release of the set, but the restock charge was more to distros, and then it was more to LGSs where it was closer to market. Where I mean, we paid $200 for a restock of Destined Rivals not too long ago. This a month later for Mega Evolutions means that it can be the same price point. It means it can still be wholesale cost because it's all part of that first wave, which is excellent. Now I don't know if every distributor is going to do that, but the three that I'm working with, when they uploaded allocations or they sent over allocations, the price points were the same for both waves. So that's a really good way to get more product into the system, and I think that's super important. So more product is coming, which is really good news. More opportunities to buy product at MSRP. Now I'm not saying that you should avoid, like if you're somebody who really wants to buy a booster box, you don't care if it's $200. Like yeah, the booster box for Mega Evolutions could be $200, $300, you know, a month after release. I'm just saying you'll have more opportunities to buy it at MSRP as long as you're working with stores who sell at MSRP, which is a good thing. That's a really good thing. So the second thing that I want to talk about is this right here, because there's a lot of confusion about this, and I think this is really important and people aren't necessarily understanding. So this is Journey Together right here. There's two big differences in these booster boxes, and that difference is right up here. So Journey Together was the first set in a very, very long time where Pokemon included a box topper in the set. What that means is there's a special illustration rare promo in this box right here. It's Ends Reshiram. It's got a Journey Together stamp on it. There's an Ends Reshiram in the actual set that does not have a Journey Together stamp on it, but there is a sealed one in this box right here. How do you know that? Because it's got this symbol, this identifier right here that says it's an enhanced booster box. This is not an enhanced booster box. So up here, there is no red indicator at all. That means there is no promo in this booster box at all. Now, how did you get this? The only way that this was obtainable in the United States, again, it's really important to remember this is only in the United States, was in pre-release kits. Pre-release kits and then prizing in like regional events or maybe tournaments at a store. They were the only ones who got those. Now, pre-release kits come differently. It's not like there's 6 booster boxes in a kit. They're 1 booster box and then 10 build and battle. So that way they can run pre-releases because they use the excess packs from this as prize support for finishing the pre-release tournament. So that was the only way that you could obtain this. When it came to distribution, all allocations that were sent out were of the variety of enhanced version. And that's a really big deal because that meant if you pre-ordered, you had the satisfaction that you knew they were all going to be enhanced. Unless you got, you know, a pre-release box for some reason, which it should have been identified. There's way less of these in existence than these. There's way more of these. We have no idea what the second print run is going to look like. They haven't announced anything yet as far as if it's going to be enhanced or not. But with Mega Evolutions, it is mixed. So we are no longer at the time, and this is the big difference right here. We are no longer at the time like we were for Journey Together, where pre-release kits, pre-release cases will have non-enhanced. We are talking actual physical booster box cases that are going to distribution where some of them will be enhanced and some of them will not. And as far as distribution knows right now, there's no identifier on the outside of the case that will tell you if it's enhanced or not enhanced. This is why it's such a big deal, because when distributors get their product in, it could be a mix. It could be a pallet or 10 pallets of enhanced, 10 pallets of non-enhanced, and then they have to either break them and figure out which ones are enhanced or not, or send sealed cases up to their stores, and you just kind of got to figure it out. So that's why it's so important to be careful where you order from. So if you order from the Pokemon Center, you're fine because they're advertising enhanced booster boxes. But if you already pre-ordered, now we haven't done any pre-orders yet, thankfully, but if you already pre-ordered from another store and they say enhanced, like you may want to check with them, like how are you certain that you're going to be getting enhanced, because distribution is getting a mix. It's not just in pre-release kits like what it was with Journey Together. And that's the big thing. A lot of people are like, well, we had unenhanced versions with Journey Together. We did, but it wasn't anything like this. All the cases in the United States were enhanced. You can't buy a case of unenhanced booster boxes from Journey Together. But it looks like for Mega Evolutions, you can't. There's just, as of right now, no information to distribution on how to identify an unenhanced case versus an enhanced case. And I can just see it already, like that's going to be an absolute mess. It's an absolute disaster. So that's why it's super imperative to be transparent with everybody. I want to make sure that you guys understand what you're getting into. And if you've already pre-ordered from somebody outside of the Pokemon Center, you may want to just follow up with them in an email, say like, hey, do you know if this is going to be enhanced or unenhanced? Obviously, if you paid MSRP, like again, who cares probably. But yeah, I would want to know if I was getting a promo, that Bulbasaur promo in my Journey Together or in my Mega Evolutions booster box or not. I mean, that's a really big deal. So there is a huge difference here when it comes to enhanced versus unenhanced compared to Journey Together. And I wanted to make sure to clear that up so you guys understood everything. So those are probably like the two most important bits of information that I wanted to share and kind of discuss a little bit. The third thing that I wanted to kind of talk about and just run by you guys, and you can let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'm very interested to know what pull rates are going to look like, and we won't get an understanding what pull rates really look like until pre-releases start in like 3 weeks. That's why it's so much fun to go to a pre-release, because you can kind of get a feel for a new set. And since it's not really just a new set, it's a new block. That's a really big deal, because pull rates could be completely different. We have no idea what things are going to look like. Now, we would assume that illustration rares will stay the same, like 1 out of every 12 packs. But when it comes to the mega super illustration rares, or whatever you want to call them, special illustration rares, mega ultra rares, we have no idea how that rarity is going to carry over. In the past, obviously, for the start of the Scarlet and Violet block, you could get a special illustration rare 1 out of like 27 packs. Then they changed things a little bit with 151 and Paradox Rift, where it was about 1 out of 45 packs. And then starting with Temporal Forces, it was about 1 out of every 2 boxes or 1 out of 72 packs. That could change a lot now that we have mega special illustration rares. Back in the day, when megas made an impact in the XY era, you got 1 per box, and it was not necessarily 1 full art per box, it was 1 mega per box. So it could have just been a regular art mega Audino or a regular art mega Alakazam. It wasn't necessarily a full art mega that appeared in your box. You would get a full art, but not necessarily a full art mega. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that all unfolds moving forward. And the mega ultra rare, depending on what rarity they call that in the English language, that's also going to be very interesting moving forward as well, because we have no idea what those pull rates look like. If you remember, for alternate arts in the Sword and Shield block, which were fairly rare, it was about 1 out of every 3 boxes for an alternate art V versus 1 out of every like 6 boxes, maybe 7 boxes for an alternate art VMAX. That's why the Umbreon VMAX, the Gengar VMAX, like those command such a higher price point, not just because they're really, really cool cards and people love the artwork and they're popular Pokemon, but also they're just a lot more difficult to pull. So it'll be very interesting to see what the full art megas look like. It's also important to remember that this is a new block of Pokemon, so we have no idea. Like, we're probably looking at another year yet before the next gen actually comes out. It wouldn't surprise me if Pokemon did like 4 sets of megas, and then all of a sudden we moved into a new gen as we wait for Legends ZA to come out. Maybe they announce something at Worlds next year. Obviously, we have the 30th anniversary next year, so there's a lot going on right now. Trying to unwrap it all and put it together, it's like a fun little puzzle. So I do look forward to reading your comments, so let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Obviously, if you've opened up some Mega Brave or Mega Symphonia, it does look like pull rates are fairly consistent with the Scarlet and Violet block, especially when it comes to the special art rares. We just don't know how that translates over to the English set yet. Again, I would assume illustration rares are going to be the same, but I'm more interested in what's going to happen with the special illustration rares in terms of the megas go, because that could be something like alternate art VMAXs, who knows. But it'll be very interesting when that comes out. So I just want to throw that information out there. I'm going to stop rambling so that way you guys don't have to keep listening to my voice, because I'm sure it doesn't sound great. But I really appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that subscribe button down below. If you appreciate it, share the channel, leave a like, leave a comment. It goes a really long way for the algorithm. Seriously, super long. But I really wanted to put that information out there because I've been reading a lot of comments. There's a lot of confusion going on. I just want to make sure people understood. Waived releases is a good thing. It really, really is. It gives more time for the prices to settle a little bit. That way it's not so volatile as soon as the set releases and you're sitting and waiting for a reprint. You already know more product is coming. You already know more product is going to be around at wholesale prices for stores to be able to sell at MSRP as long as they're willing to do it. So this could be a really strong step in the right direction. If you remember, it's been 9 months or almost 9 months since Pokemon announced that they were going to really start printing to capacity. They should be caught up. So moving forward, we might see a lot better of a 2026 than what I think a lot of people originally thought. So I hope you guys are doing well. Love you guys. I'll talk to you
talk to you soon. Till next time. Peace.